Good evening, everyone. I'm here at the Lambic Stadium. It's very chilly and a bit windy, but I'm delighted to say I'm joined by BBC Radio Stoke commentator and avid Port Vale fan, Phil Bowers. Phil, what does that do to your heart rate each week watching the Vale and having to commentate?
It's not easy, Max, if I'm honest with you. I've been doing it for a long time now, myself and Lee Blakeman, who cover the games quite a lot. It can be difficult because there are times when we're playing well and you try not to get carried away. There are times when you're playing really badly and you've still got to try and tell the people at home accurately what's going on, and it's not easy when you can get a little bit down. But overall, it's a great job and you can't really fault anyone who wants to go into it. It is difficult to keep your emotions in check. You've
been there home and away the majority of this season. What have you made of the season so far?
I think it's been a huge improvement over what's happened the last couple of years, if I'm going to be perfectly blunt, because I think now there seems to be a bit more of a togetherness about the squad. There seems to be a bit more quality in the squad than there has been in the last couple of years, particularly. I think the other thing you've got to look at now is that there is a manager there who obviously has the club at heart. He's been there through the good times, he's also been there through the bad times, and now he's trying to get across that to what's going on the pitch. Results-wise, I think everybody would agree that things could improve, but there have been some good performances. The one at the weekend in particular against Oldham was a great performance, and I think now that gives them a platform to build on.
And just talking about that togetherness that you mentioned there, we saw that togetherness after Crewe, the way the players were celebrating with each other, and after Oldham as well, when they really put their bodies on the line. We see that chemistry and the atmosphere amongst the players.
Yeah, and I think that comes from having a good dressing room. And you know, I've watched some Vale teams where there hasn't been. I've watched some teams where there's been a great dressing room spirit, and the ones that have got a good team spirit and a good togetherness, those are the ones that tend to do well. I think that is coming here. I think it's a new squad. It's been put together at the start of the season. Some players have still got a bed in, but there is a lot to be proud of in that team, and I think you do see that out on the pitch, particularly the local lads as well. You know, your Nathan Smiths, your Theo Vassels, who've obviously from the area. They want to do well because it's a club that they know and will know very well, and now that they're playing for it, they're representing it with pride.
Now, to see a performance like we saw at Oldham, Lee Blakeman described it as the perfect away performance. How badly was that needed after Lincoln?
I can't really top what Lee Blakeman says, can I? I'm sure he'd say that as well. But I think there were lots of ideal things there. You keep a clean sheet, your top scorer scores, you keep it really tight at the back, and you've got an away crowd. I was sat in the away end with some of the fans as well. You've got a crowd that was behind them. There was a great atmosphere in that away end, and it was testament to the players that they came over and applauded them at the end of the match as well. And it was great to see that, and that spirit of togetherness we talked about, that was embodied in that performance, and they can only build on that.
Great to go into this one so soon after a victory like that at Oldham.
Yeah, and I think, you know, ask any manager, I've asked loads during the time as well, that what you want is another game quickly to either get out of the way a bad result or to build on a positive one. You wouldn't want to say, I know we don't have them at this level, but an international break now, or you've got a gap of a few games. It's good to get back out on the pitch while everybody's raring to go, and the momentum is still there as well.
Now, we've just spoken to Lee Nogan about the team lineup. It's unchanged, and we see David Worrell drop from the team and Ricky Miller comes back. You're happy with that team selection, sticking with the same one?
Yeah, I think so, because I think you know, there's a lot to be said for keeping a winning team together. Some managers don't do it, and it can disrupt things. I think when you are a manager, you get criticised if you change things and then you don't win whatever you do. So. But given the way they played, given that there were players asked to do unfamiliar jobs and came through it with pride, I think there is a real good case for selecting that team. And plus, it's no coincidence that the last 4 games that we went unbeaten, we largely picked the same 11. So maybe this is the start of that.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. I know we're just under an hour away now from kick-off, so thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget that you can buy your match pass for this game and watch the game live on our iFollow channel. And hopefully after the game, me and Phil will be talking to a very happy Neil Aspin and talking about 3 points.